So, gents, I think that Olympus Has Fallen does a really good job of making itself distinct and separating itself from other action movies like this. I'm kind of curious, as producer, as director, when you were conceiving this, how did you attempt to separate it? How did you, what void were you filling with this movie in some ways?
You know, a lot of movies, and we attempt to do it too. We always want to entertain, right? We always want to have fun, entertain, and it's an event to go to a movie. But what we find is, and especially myself as a director, is that everything is so precious sometimes. Let's be precious. Let's make it a PG. Oh, it's at the attack of the White House, but let's not show too much blood. We don't want it to be. And I think it's BS. I think if you're going to attack the White House, you better attack the White House. If you're going to make an action movie, then make an action movie, right? So it's like very easy to go and make a movie that's all CG and no blood and no violence, and you don't feel anything. Well, then you can watch a video game.
Right.
But if you're going to go to the cinema and watch a movie and you want to feel something, then you got to make it real. You got to punch people in the gut.
Right. As the guy who's going to star in that movie, did that feel like a risk, or did you want to kind of push the buttons? And
He's the one that called me with the movie.
Yeah. No, that's what I love, taking risks, you know. And I, when I read this, I'm like, okay, this is a risk. And it was a great script, but it wasn't ready to go as that. So me bringing it to Antoine and us saying, okay, what is it? Like, if we're gonna do this, I want to see, you know, what we want to see. How's it gonna? What would that look like? What would that take? What would it smell like? What would it taste like? Yeah. So that you're actually there and you're in it. And that's what Antoine brought, was you're literally in this attack, and then you're in the White House, and you're in the bunker with the president. You're watching hostages being. You are so drawn in and compelled and riveted.
I mean, those first 20 minutes are one of the scariest, intense things I've ever seen. I'm wondering if there's a balance then, or were there things that you conceived that might have been too crazy, or were there things that you conceived that might have been too realistic?
Yeah, there's some things that were very realistic. I mean, we got as realistic as you can get, but there's some things that were extremely realistic that we couldn't show you because the Secret Service, one, wouldn't allow us. Plus, we wouldn't want to do that anyway, giving each sort of thing out like that. But yeah, and then me and Jerry kicked around ideas all day. 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, we didn't sleep. So there were things, we went way out there, and we would have to bring each other back at times. We would both be going, okay, I think we're going too far. And he'd pull me back, or I'd pull him back. And sometimes we just say, let's just shoot it anyway and try it.
How does that affect your performance, trying to find, you know, you're stabbing people in the chest, running through halls, kicking butt, but like, does it become too realistic or too crazy fantastic at times as a intimate performance?
Well, I hope not. I mean, what's great is the fact that I am going around the White House by stealth. I mean, I'm there, and you get into the mind of what counterterrorism is. You're following this guy. What's he doing? He's assessing the situation. What are the enemy's capabilities? What do they want? What have they done? What are the dangers? How do I get ammunition? How do I establish lines of outside contact? How the hell do I get down and get the president? What's the plan? Thinking on my feet. And most of that is in silence. So you're there, and there are a lot of silent moments when you're walking with a guy and you're in his head and you see the peril that he's in. And then there's the fights, because you can't go through a White House with 40 terrorists. It's not that big a building.
Sure.
You're going to come across them.
And very quickly, just to wrap up, kind of ridiculous, I'm curious, you had any accent for your picking, because I feel like Banning is from anywhere in America. He's a blue or down-to-earth kind of guy. Which one did you settle on, and why?
Well, listen, it was more a general American accent. But yeah, but he came from just outside Washington.